All right. All right. Welcome, everyone. Welcome, sophomores and rising juniors, more appropriately, as we talk about registration. So I'm Mr. Johnson. I am one of the school counselors. Obviously, there are 8 school counselors that work with the 10th through 12th grade, and we're all excited to welcome you to looking at junior year next year, which is really interesting because you're actually really close to the halfway point of your time at Edina High School, and you probably had one of the most unique experiences at Edina High School, context included. So the presentation we're going to do is about registration, and registration formally begins today, February 4th, and it concludes on February 17th at 4 p.m. So you have a little less than 2 weeks to complete your registration for next year. So the presentation that I'm about to show you has 2 parts to it. The first part is kind of the what of registration, looking at each graduation requirement and giving you advice on what next year should look like to be on track for your 4-year plan. The second part is the how of registration. So actually registering online, and we'll walk you through your student portal to make sure you have a hang of it. So those are the kind of the 2 goals for today, is the what for registration and the how. And along the way, I'll give you some resources and some additional information. And I do ask that you hold questions for the end. So to get started, registration, has really gone digital. We used to do our course catalogs and registration sheets. This year, it's quite different. So in order to give you better access to all of our materials, the school has designed a new course website, and I want to show it to you real quick. So our course catalog is online, and it's actually quite slick. It's easy to navigate and get all your information. So essentially, everything that was in the course catalog and more now exists in the course website. You'll notice that it is categorized by subject areas. So if you're looking at English, if you're looking at science, world language, mathematics, you would just go to those categories. Now, the nice thing about the course catalog in general is that it can give pathway presentations as well as good descriptions about your next math class. So I think science is a great example when we think of like pathways. Right now, as 10th graders, most of you are probably in chemistry. So looking at what's next, let's scroll down. A lot of these grade levels offer pathways so you to visually see. So from general chemistry and rich chemistry, you're looking at general bio, enriched bio, or AP bio. It's a great resource to look at your pathways, to look at descriptions, prerequisites, and even watch videos about the courses. So here's my example. Maybe you've always been interested in like computer science or engineering. You can go to the course website, and many courses offer a preview video. These are videos that are designed to tell you more information about the course, what it looks like. And again, it's still going to talk about the description. It's going to talk about classwork, what you're doing. A great resource for you. And this is going to be available on the high school website as well as on your grade level Schoology page. And that's actually the next thing I want to get to. So the course website is a great tool, but so is going to be your grade level Schoology page. So I'm not sure how many of you actually investigate your grade level Schoology page, but we're going to do that right now. So under courses, whenever you go to your grade level Schoology page, so 10th grade in this instance, if you go to the materials tab, you're going to notice a new folder on the top that says 21-22 school year registration. If you select this, it's going to be a one-stop shop of information that you need to be successful in registration. So similar to what I started saying is, the timeline. Registration starts today and it ends on the 17th. We've broken it down into a few steps if you kind of want to be able to chunk this out to be successful in it. So, it starts with today, the presentation in your class. We encourage you to look at your graduation checklist sheet and start that conversation at home. We have links to meet with your counselor to schedule meetings with us. Remember, it's a 2-week period, so it's really important that you're proactive. If you need to have conversations with your teachers, with your counselors, with your family, start those now. And each of these steps here is outlined below as well. So the graduation checklist sheet is available. The link to meet with your counselor is right here. And I think this is an important one. Remember, each of you is assigned a school counselor based upon your last name alphabetically. And we have them all right here. So if your last name was between EO and HOK, you'd be with me. You'd select my name. You'd go to one of these bolded dates, which shows availability, and you choose the time you want to meet with me. So, maybe you're like, oh yeah, Wednesday is perfect. I want a 1:40 meeting. And you're just going to go ahead and fill this page out. First name, last name, email, and answer these 2 questions. Hit complete. You're all set. You're going to get a reminder email for when the meeting's coming up. And we'll also send you a virtual Google Meet link to connect with us. So again, this Schoology page is going to have all the resources you need to successfully register. We also have additional information on PSEO, NCAA requirements, frequently asked questions, our Global Scholar Program, as well as Hennepin Technical College Enrollment Form. So I'll talk a little bit more about this in the presentation, but I just want to make sure you're familiar with where to find this and the resources that are in this. So again, grade level 10, Schoology page under materials. Okay, hopping back to this PowerPoint. As we go through this, I want you to think with intention on the best path for you. The courses that we run at the school are based upon how you register. What that means is if only 5 of you register for a specific course, we don't run that course. So the example could be psychology. If only 5 of you register for psychology, we don't run it, which is why we have you then identify alternate classes. Because everything is based upon who registers, we also can't change your courses. So if you don't register for a course, there's not going to be space for you to take that course next year. Register intentionally. The courses that you're going to take next year are what you're choosing right now. If you have questions around like, I don't know if I should take this enriched course or what the difference is between these 2 graduation requirements, 2 people to talk to. 1, your teachers. Like if you're trying to figure out your math class, I have 3 options for math next year. Talk to your math teacher. They're going to be able to identify your skill levels, how you've done, and explain what the next year's math looks like. You can also reach out to your counselor. Now, we can't speak to your specific math ability, but we can talk about different pathways. We can talk about your grades and how that works as far as those pathways moving forward. Finally, remember, this is about balance too. Each of you are going to have different demands and commitments. You might be looking at future part-time jobs, athletics, clubs, extracurriculars, community programs, family responsibilities. It's important you balance this out. Remember, you can take 6 or 7 courses. It's up to you. Is a student prep healthy for you? Do you need that extra break because you have strong commitments in the evening and you need that time during the day to get ahead of your schoolwork? Maybe you just need time to breathe during the school day. Consider your balance. Remember, you can take up to a student prep once a semester. So when we talk about what to register, it really comes from graduation requirements for the high school. Every student needs 43 credits for registration. A semester of a class is a credit of a class. So what we're going to do shortly is break down each of these categories and look at your next year class and what you need to fulfill your graduation requirement. So English through fine arts. Before we start with English, I just want to point out that the school is moving towards trying to offer you online courses. So what that means is, instead of maybe next year coming in face-to-face like you normally would in a normal year, you could register for an online course. Our course website indicates all courses that are going to be available online. When you register, and we'll talk about in the second half of the presentation, the word online will be in the course title. So if there isn't an online in the course title, that's just the normal face-to-face class you would usually always register for. If it says online, it's online. You can register for as many or as few online courses as you want. You can register for the full year or semester by semester. The same rules apply though. If not enough students to register for it, it will not run. Okay, so what that would mean is maybe you sign up for online geometry. If not enough students sign up for it, we would place you in normal geometry. So let's talk about English first. Last year you would have taken Pre-P English 10 and this year, Pre-P English 9 and this year you're in Pre-P English 10. Next year you have one of 2 options. You have US Lit and you have APOL, right? So that US Lit is a graduation requirement. And then your senior year, you'll have a 4th year of English, which we'll talk about next year and the choices that you have. For social studies, you would have gone from government to now a world history to next year a U.S. history. So again, we're looking at U.S. History or AP U.S. History. Now, a reminder is for those AP classes, where it's APO or APUSH, those are college-level courses. Those are courses that use college-level text and have more college-level expectations, right? They are weighted courses as well, which means if you take those, you get a weighted GPA. So, for example, an A in a normal class would be a 4.0. A B in a normal class would be a 3.0 GPA. If it's an AP class, an A in an AP class is a 4.4 GPA. A B in an AP class is a 3.6 GPA. So a B is actually closer to an A minus as far as GPA goes. If you have questions about your GPA, about goals you have and aligning to them, please reach out to your counselor. We're here to help you. And then in the future, you will also have an economics credit that you have to do for graduation. Some students do it as well as junior year as one of their electives. A lot of students wait till senior year and do econ then. So in general, I mean, this is the example for social studies, but this could be used for any class, as examples between traditional courses and AP courses. Again, it starts from the resources, it goes into the instructional methods. Again, you get a lot more emphasis on text reading when you get into these AP classes. Assessment-wise, especially for the social studies classes, we see close to 80% of your grade being on summatives. Homework expectations are often very different as well. So in this example, and again, this is a general example. This is going to look different for every student based upon your skills and your comfort with reading and note-taking and writing. But you look at, homework expectations for social studies classes being, maybe for a traditional class, 2 hours or so a week. For AP, double that, typically 4 to 5 hours a week. A lot of students say, I probably spend an hour a night on APUSH, between reading, note-taking, and preparing. Math is unique. So I'm not going to get into the specific math pathways, but I do want you to refer back to this course website, remember, and you can always look at the mathematics section. But your math teacher would be one of the best people to indicate what could come next in math. Right? So for example, let's say as a sophomore, you were in geometry. Well, the pathway would have you in Algebra 2 next. If you're in Algebra 2 now, you'd be looking at a multitude of opportunities next. You'd be looking at pre-calculus, college algebra prep, all your choice. So your math teacher, again, is a great resource for identifying what is the appropriate next step. Science. So most of you are in chemistry right now, and you're going to be looking at biology for next year. You have 3 options: biology, enriched biology, AP biology. Bio and enriched bio are the most common. We do have a few students that maybe want to work ahead and do some summer work to access AP bio. There is actually a AP bio Schoology page that talks about what those prerequisites would be, what kind of work you'd have to do to prepare for that, and you'll be able to find that information on our high school website. So again, most students are looking at biology or enriched biology, and that is a graduation requirement. And then senior year, you're looking at electives. Health and wellness. Oftentimes, these are the ones that get kicked down the road a little far when it comes to graduation requirements, but I would encourage you to start chipping away at these. You have one health requirement, which is health class. You can take it in 2 ways now, health or online health. Personal wellness and wellness credits. So you have 2 total wellness credits. The first one has to be personal wellness. That is the prerequisite for all the other wellness credits. So on the right-hand side, these are all the wellness credits. Unified PE, basketball theory, strength and conditioning, soccer theory, etc. These fulfill your second wellness credit, but the first one you have to take is personal wellness. Now remember too, we are moving towards offering online opportunities. So if you prefer an online gym, check that out. Fine arts. So this is the last graduation requirement category I'm going to talk about. Every student needs 2 semesters, 2 credits of fine arts. If you've done like a year of choir or band or orchestra, you're good to go. You can also fulfill your fine arts requirements through classes like drawing and painting, ceramics, photography, digital photography, civil engineering and architecture, interior design. We have a lot of great courses that fulfill these requirements, and our course website outlines all of them. But remember, you need a total of 2 fine art credits for graduation. If you haven't taken them yet, look at your 4-year plan, which we're about to get to, and see how that fits in there. Make sure they're planned. I would hate for you to come senior year and you have to take both your PE classes, your health, and your art classes. That doesn't leave you time to explore your interest areas before heading out of the high school to your next steps. Remember too, every department offers electives. So if you have openings, check out the elective categories, explore them. We have amazing classes. We have foods classes, we have art classes, we have business classes, classes like sociology, criminal law, forensics. We have a lot of great opportunities for you. Take the time to look at the website, invest in yourself. All right, so 2 important points I want to make about world language. First is this: it is not a high school graduation requirement. Second, and equally as important, is it can often be a college admissions requirement. So many colleges like to see 2 to 4 years of the same language for admission. Now, I'm going to clarify this. They want to see 2 to 4 years of proficiency, which means if you're in, let's say, Spanish 3 right now, and you're completing the full year, you would meet 3 years of world language because you've demonstrated 3 years of proficiency in that same language. So really what they're looking for is for you to be in that world language course, level 2 through 4. Now, it's good, better, best, right? If you're finishing 2 years of world language, you're in a good situation. You've met a lot of minimum college requirements. If you want to go 3 years, wow, 3 years definitely looks better than 2. What's best? Wow, if you want to show 4 years, that's even better than 3. This needs to be an individual conversation. I know some of you click really well with world language. Some of you, it requires so much more investment of time, right? So this is about what's best for you. And some of you might even wonder, can I take 2 world languages? Yeah, if you want to, absolutely. They're your elective credits to choose. In general, remember, world language builds on itself, right? It's very foundational. So if you're really struggling this year, you may consider retaking this year, an improvement of grade and, re-solidifying your knowledge in that world language class. This is kind of just like you can self-identify yourself in this slide if you're in level 3 class right now. Maybe you look at a level 4. Sometimes there's honors classes offered, like in French and Spanish. Talk to your world language teacher if those would be good choices. They go all the way up to the AP classes. We give you plenty of opportunities to really explore and enrich yourself in these world language classes, but you have to decide if it's that best fit for you. Remember, balance is important. If you have these 5 core classes, because world language is considered a core class from a college perspective, and then you're also in band or choir, does that give you enough opportunity? Do you want to take a 7th credit? Do you want a student prep? All this revolves around your balance. For a lot of you, for the first time ever, you might start considering PSEO. PSEO is typically available for juniors and seniors. That's actually taking college classes while you're in high school. Most common, we see students go to Normandale or the U of M or MCTC. You can enroll in full-time or part-time PSEO, and each program has their own eligibility requirements. So if you're curious about that, I would direct you to our Edina High School website. Let's scroll all the way to the top. And you'll see here we have a PSEO tab. This tab will break down the information, bring you to the websites for each program, and talk to you in general about timelines and other important information you need. What you need to know if you're considering PSEO is this, though. You're still going to register as a full-time high school student. It's only after you've applied, been accepted, and registered that we're going to change your registration at the high school. If you have specific PSEO questions, those are great questions for one-on-one meetings with your counselor. HTC is another great opportunity, and this is high school credits, but much more hands-on learning. So there are 13 different HTC courses available to you, and the course website will tell you about them. They're offered 3 different times during the day, and the reason I am pointing that out is because we only provide transportation to the noon class. So the other classes you'd have to be driving to their Eden Prairie campus back and forth. The other thing that's important to realize with HTC is you get 3 high school credits for it, but it can take up to 3 of your class periods because of the time you're physically there. That means you'd only be taking probably 4 high school classes plus the 3 you're getting from your time at HTC. There is an enrollment form that is required, and we encourage you to get it in by February 19th because that's like HTC's priority deadline, and once classes fill, they're full. Courses can be anywhere from like auto body repair, culinary arts, to nursing assistantship, which is one of the most popular programs, health careers, criminal justice. There's a lot of great opportunities. So again, if HTC is something that you're interested in, getting hands-on learning, being in a different environment, check out the course website because it gives you more information about them. And also your counselors are happy to talk to you about that as well. Are you a potential D1 or D2 athlete? If you are, there are NCAA eligibility requirements that you need to meet. So that means you need to take the onus on you, take the responsibility, and make sure that you're on track for that. That's something where I would expect a student to tell me if we were working together that, I'm considering D1 or D2 athletics. There are specific courses that you can and can't take if you want that pathway. Okay, now we're going to get into the second half of the presentation, and this is the shorter half. This is just the how to register. Now, two things I want to point out. One, it's 100% digital. There is no paper registration. Two, it can only be done through your student portal. It cannot be done through a parent portal, which means it's your responsibility as a high school student to get this done. Remember, your student portal, Infinite Campus, and then from Infinite Campus, you're going to go to this right here, this academic plan. When you select your academic plan, it's going to pop up with this screen. This is not an important screen, so for the purposes of this, just hit next, hit proceed to get to your actual academic plan. And here it is. Now, the columns are your grade levels, and you'll notice that some of them are shaded in. They're locked in. You can't change them. Those are the courses you've already completed or are in progress. Registration comes from the next year. So any changes you make or updates you make to grade 11, that is what you are registering for. Grade 12, you can still change next year when you register for your senior year. But your entire four-year plan has to be accurate. You have to have a plan that actually keeps you on pace for graduation. All right. It's important for you to know your graduation requirements, and it's also required by the school to make sure you have a four-year plan every year that's accurate. So remember, these columns are the grade levels, and you're going to be focusing on grade 11. The subject areas go from left to right. All right, so English, social studies, math, science, and so on. Remember, if you can see here these course numbers, so it says US Lit and Composition, but notice each course number ends in either S1 or S2. Make sure you have both in your academic plan. US Lit is a full year course, which means you have to put in the S1 and the S2 course. All right, so make sure you're doing the full year course. Also, remember, online courses are available for you to register for. So this is the example, geometry and online geometry. Every online course starts with the word online. Be intentional when you're registering. I don't want you to accidentally sign up for online or accidentally sign up for traditional class when the opposite is what you want. Take the time to do this for you. Okay, just a reminder, remember, you're clicking on these credit boxes to add classes, right? Click on the credit box. You can either scroll through this right here, or you can just type in the name of the course you're looking for. All right. If you're maybe more unsure and you're still trying to explore classes, the course catalog is a great tool. You can actually type in the course name here. It will give you a description, prerequisites, and then you can add it to the planner. It's a couple more steps if you use this, but again, it's a great tool if you're still in that exploring process of, which one am I deciding? Okay, the save button is crucial, all right? And when you hit save, you can't assume it actually just saved because a dialog box will pop up. It will either say course plan was saved or not saved. Now, this is an example of not saved, okay? That means if you just close down your browser, you have not registered and you have lost all your progress that you have from what you're looking at right now. So here's an example. Course plan was not saved. It's saying I don't have enough social studies credits, all right? Well, let's look. Okay, yeah, that's because I'm missing US history. So notice here, even on the alerts, it's telling me what I'm missing. Students must complete 2 credits of US history or AP US history. That means you have to hit OK, go here, and add both semesters of US history. Notice as well, it's saying is you need to mark alternates. Every student needs to do 4 alternates, 2 for each semester. Remember, if you're registering for electives and they don't run, we need to know what else to put you in. All right. These aren't alternates for US Lit. These aren't alternates for US History or your graduation requirements. They're alternates for your other classes. Okay. Quick tip, the website will time out. So if you leave it open for 10 hours, if you shut your computer and bring it back on, it'll act like you can still add things to it, but when you go to save, you'll lose everything. My point is this: be intentional with your time. If you're going to change your academic plan, make sure you have at least 10 minutes so that you can make sure to resolve all this and actually save it. You can save it as many times as you want between now and February 17th. But on February 17th at 4 p.m., we are closing down your academic planner, and whatever you have in there will be final. So again, be proactive on this. Don't wait till the 16th or 17th, especially if you need to talk to any of your teachers or counselors about what courses are best. Your responsibility is to register for 7 classes each semester. Remember, you can take a student prep each semester as well. That would be one of your 7 classes. But make sure, essentially 7 S1s, 7 S2s. That's your responsibility as well as those alternates. Click save. I know it sounds simple, but too often we find that students never pressed save and the work they did was gone, and it puts them in a really hard position the next year when the courses they wanted to take aren't available to them. The courses you register for base what we offer. It's important. Okay? If you want a course, register for it. You're not going to be able to be changed into it next year. If that course doesn't run, give us alternates to use. I would hate to have to be left guessing for what you want to take. Okay, so this is going to be the last slide I talk about, and then I'm going to end the recording and we're going to get into some Q&A. But just for you to know, you have an ABA in your Pre-AP English 10 class. Okay, it's on the Pre-AP English 10 Schoology page. It's a discussion question, and your responsibility, what you have to do is type in Hornets 21-22 just like it is on the screen, submit that, and that's your ABA for today. Okay? 2 important points before we end this recording. 1, use the resources that are available to you. Use your grade level Schoology page. Remember, the links to meet with your counselor. I will post this video on it if you want to review it. 2, your academic planner is where your registration happens. Okay, you have to press save. And that registration deadline is February 17th at 4 p.m. Okay, so I am going to end this now.